Hello, welcome to our August 2nd Sunday Series Day. Traditionally, August features traditional technologies, so we have a lot to offer you today. First off, though, I want to say thank you to Seasons Coffee House located in downtown Richfield, because they are the ones that helped bring us this first section, because if they weren't willing to pass out the bags, you wouldn't be able to play along and do crafts at home with us. So thank you to Seasons and the Fish and Wildlife Service for sponsoring this first segment of our day. I'm Julie McGraw, and I am the Community and Cultural Education for the Richfield National Wildlife Refuge, and I'm happy to welcome you to our activities today. First off, we have a trail tip from the Fish and Wildlife Service on the Kiowa Trail, and we want to welcome you back. Next off, we are going to do some native gaming activities with the Brunos. They're community elders, and we're excited to have them with us today, and you get to learn how to make your own gaming piece basically wherever you are. And then our special presentation features our guests Portland Rewild and Modoc Boco. Welcome to today's Fish and Wildlife Trail Tip for our August 2nd Sunday. First off, we want to thank everyone for their patience. The Kiowa Trail was closed a little bit longer this year so that our crane colt could grow into its fledgling status, and now it's safe and happy and flying along with his parents. And then if you'll swing over this way, you'll take a note and see that the parking lot for the Kiowa Trail is not all that large. So if you could please remember to make sure and leave space for others before you join anyone on the trail. One of the first decisions you'll have to make before you even leave your house is making sure you have adequate sun protection and plenty of fluids. Most of the Kiowa Trail is in direct sunlight, and depending on what time of day you come, it can get quite hot. So a few things before you decide to come out: make sure you have adequate sun protection and hydration, and perhaps even a snack. We are a pack in and pack it out facility, so remember to take your garbage with you. Once you get here and through our parking lot, you're going to have to make your first choice. Do you want to take this trail over my right shoulder or the trail that goes over my left shoulder? Now it's a loop, so either way is fine. However, I will let you know if when you're coming in, you take the right trail to the loop, you're going to get a little shade further on. However, if you take the left loop, that part of the loop is sunny until almost the end. So if you're going for a quick out and back, you might choose to go right for a little more shade, but if you're on for the whole loop, go left, and then you'll finish your trip with just a little bit of shade. We're gonna go for a few more highlights that are my favorite places. I brought my favorite flavor of Gatorade in my Pierce canteen, and we'll do a few more pop-ups later on the trail. One of the things that's most important to point out on the trails at this time is we have a lot of berries that are now starting to change. There's a lot of reasons why you don't want to eat any of the berries on the wildlife refuge. First and foremost, everywhere there's berries on the refuge, that's potential food for our wildlife, and it is a wildlife refuge. So we want to retain those food sources for our bird friends and other animals that are with us. But if you look closer, this is one of our plant relatives that's pretty serious. These are nightshade berries, and you can see just over here, there are some really lovely florets still. You want to make sure you're never ever eating any type of berry near a plant like this. You can see those beautiful leaves, they're three-pronged, but it's incredibly important. Nightshade leaves, roots, stems, flowers, and berries are all quite poisonous. So that's just one reason to not eat any berries on our trail. Let's save berries of all types for our animal companions, but most importantly, remember, unless you really know your berries, you could grab one that could make you ill or even possibly cause a fatality. So remember, the birds are for the berries and the berries are for the birds, but let's leave them out of our human hands for this trip. There are a few benches on the left branch of the Kiowa Trail, so if you decide you need a break right after heading off, you'll find a little bridge and then some benches, and then you get to head off to the center of the loop of the trail. So we want you to know these are provided for your comfort and rest, and we hope you take advantage of them while you're out here. So I'm taking a brief break at one of the benches that are in the left part of the Kiowa Trail, and just giving you a little bit of a sample of just kind of the calm, beautiful environment that I'm enjoying this evening while I take a rest before I continue walking. During the month of August, it's one of my favorite times to walk this trail because you can get up close and personal with the Wapato. Frequently when I do interpretive walks, we talk about Wapto as a food source, but now during this time of year, we get to use it as an example of just how lovely the entire life cycle of a plant is. You get these big, beautiful arrow-shaped leaves and these precious little tucked in delicate white flowers. And then when you take a step back, you get to see how they inform the entire wetland environment. And they're among the cattail, the juncus, the tule, and so many of our first plant family members that are in this wetland environment that take care of one another and allow us for food, for fiber, and other ways to keep the indigenous community alive and thriving in the Pacific Northwest. So next time you're out on the Kiowa Trail, take a little thought on our indigenous plant family members before you continue down the trail and across the lake. This is one of my favorite spots on the trail to sometimes spot nutria or heron. Nobody is out here today. I'm by myself. There's a few little tiny beating birds, so I don't have any animal highlights for you today. But I do want to remind you that we do have an albino nutria on the Kiowa Trail that is mostly deaf and mostly sightless. And occasionally people think they're so cute they want to pet them. And I'm just going to take a moment to point out that nutria are rodents. Their teeth never stop growing the entirety of their lifetime, and they're sharp enough to cut through deep, heavy roots and could definitely give you a serious wound in the small little puncture. So think beaver teeth, nutria teeth, rat teeth, they're all kind of the same. So if you see our lovely nutria, which are not making an appearance for me today, make sure that you give them a wide berth, because as cute and waddly as they are, they can pack a powerful punch if you decided to disturb one of our rodents of unusual size. So you might want to know what this strange structure is behind me. This is one of our hump lines. So if you're ever curious what that looks like when our hunters come in, you can check that out. It's on the right side of the Kiowa Trail. Just remember everything else you need to stay on the trail for. And look for it in September when we have more information for you on this year's hunt program. So we get a lot of questions on what that little hut is, and so now you know. And if you're a hunter, welcome to the area, and you can find more about our annual hunt season on our website, Shortcoming. Our last stop on the Kiowa Trail today is one of our restoration areas, and it's just nice to be able to tell you and show you some of the great work that our habitat crew and our volunteers do. You can see that there's space underneath the trees. We've got some new ones planted just as an extra treat since it's a little windy. We'll give you some of those trees blowing around, because hopefully when you take a walk on here, you don't just spend all your time looking down or sideways, and you look up a little as well. So we do have volunteer crews available now, and you can check the Fish and Wildlife or the Friends website to find out how you can get involved more in trail work and restoration. Thank you for joining me on the Kiowa Trail today. I just want to reiterate that the trail is now open and will be open till the end of September. I hope that in the next couple of months you have a chance to enjoy this lovely little trail, which takes you through the wetlands, through a prairie, and a little bit of forest. You get a little bit of everything here at the Richfield National Wildlife Refuge. Once again, I'm Juliet McGraw, the Community and Cultural Education Director for the Friends of the Richfield National Wildlife Refuge, and I'm so pleased to have had you along with my walk this evening. Before I leave you today, I want you to remember you need to have your Stockwall Color Me bag ready, and then the ingredients we put inside. So you'll have some paper and some twine to make the activity along with the Brunos in a bit. And if for some reason you have lots of folks in your house, just grab another paper grocery sack, cut it up, and join along so everybody can play and have some fun with basically the original hacky sack.
My name is Clifton Bruno, Wasco from the Columbia River.
And I'm Christine Bruno. My heritage is Basque, Comanche, and Irish. I was the first person in my family born in Oregon.
And my family has been here since time immemorial.
Today we're going to show you a craft that you can do at home to play a traditional game. Used usually with corn husks, but we're going to show you things you can make from home.
Here's the first version before Nerf that was developed by indigenous people.
These are made from corn husk, was a common thing to make these out of. You could use other plant materials if you had like some plants that had nice flat leaves. And so you can make these out of corn husks. If you get corn on the cob and have corn husks, you can take and flatten those out and do it that way. Or you'd want to either do it right away while they're still green and fresh, or let them dry and then you have to soak them to soften them to make the toy. Because once it's dry, it's kind of brittle and you can't bend it. So we're going to show you how to make it with paper bags. So we've already pre-cut just from a normal grocery bag, just a normal grocery bag. We've already cut 2 strips of paper that are about 4 inches by 9 inches. And then another one that's about a 5 by 5 square. Set the square aside. So this one, we're going to wad, this is how we soften it. We wad it up to a ball, really tight. Tight as you can. Really crunching it up. And then you open it up. And put it down on the table and smooth it out. Get it all flat again. It's already starting to get soft. And then the other technique, the flip, you want to get up close because she's really good at getting this one kind of folded up. You twist it. The paper is pretty tough. It twists pretty hard. Then once you get it twisted nice and tight, you then untwist it. And again, flatten it out. And now I'm going to go the other way. So I twisted it this way that time. Now I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to twist it again. So you just do this several times until it starts getting soft and flexible. There is a craft material called paper twist that you could purchase to use, or if you happen to have any of that, you can use that. That saves you all this twisting and softening. But this is something like everyone's got paper bags around. And now already this has really changed. So like this is really stiff. Now this can bend and move. So that's what you want. You want it to where you can wiggle it around. And then you know you're ready. So this square, I'm just going to wad up into a ball. It does not need to be soft because it's just going to be our middle. So we're going to use to stuff it with. So we just need to wad it up to a ball. Then we put the 2 pieces like an X. And we place the ball in the middle of the X. And we start with whatever part of the X is on the bottom first. And we fold all sides up. And we're going to do this twice so you can kind of see it. And kind of squeeze and twist it. Okay, and then I'm going to take a piece of this yarn. You can use any string or yarn. And I'm going to wrap it around a couple times. And then pull it tight. Tie it. And there we go. So much like our corn husk one. And these are very lightweight. You can cut these strings off. They don't have to remain long.
another game you can play. These little hand hacky sacks you throw through the hoops. Welcome back. This is Clifton Bruno, Moscow from the Columbia River.
And I'm Christine Bruno, but my heritage is Basque, Comanche, and Irish. I'm the first person in my family born in Oregon.
My family has been here since time immemorial.
Today we're going to be teaching you some games. Playing with sticks, throwing things. It'll be fun.
This is a Great Plains game that was developed, and
it was primarily a woman's game. There are some tribes where the men also played, but often it was a way of the women showing their strength and agility.
And when the wife got tired of her load down to nothing, husband, she would gather up all the possessions, take it out and announce a double ball game, and the winner of that game got the possessions, and then they were considered divorced. So what this game helped was it taught the men to walk right and the women to choose wisely.
So if you'd like to make a double ball game to play yourself, these here are actually filled with little bags of sand for weight, so they're heavy, and also bison hair. And then this is a fabric cover. Traditionally they use leather covers to make the double ball. Very much Plains traditional game. And then if you want to make something at home without all the sewing, if you have some long socks, this is one way to do it, where I took a long sock, I took other old socks and stuffed them in the toe. I tied a knot. If your sock isn't as long as this one, you could always sew it or wrap some twine around and tie. Then I have the space, and then I tied another knot, stuffed more socks here, and tied a knot at the end. So there was no sewing involved with this one. And the larger size is a little easier to do. And so this is something that like just two people can play, tossing back and forth, or it was played as a team sport, much like we play things like lacrosse.
Thank you for joining us today for our Fish and Wildlife Trail Tip and our craft activity. We want to offer a big thanks to the Fish and Wildlife Service for supporting the Second Sunday series, for Seasons Coffee House for distributing those craft bags so you can play along with us at home, even if it's online. Hopefully we'll be together soon, but until then, again, thanks to Seasons for supporting us. And then, of course, last but not least, the Brunos. Thank you. It's always valuable when community elders can share their time and energy with us, and especially when it's something as fun as games. Thank you for following today, and now we're going to bring you our special presentation. First off, we have Peter from Portland Rewild. Peter Bauer is a good friend of mine and is a leading member of the rewilding movement. You can't call it conservation because it's something completely different. And today we had the honor of Peter teaching us some ancestral techniques and started the Plank House fires, so we were able to honor the house with his fires today, and we're very, very grateful for that. And then stay tuned for a 3-part series brought to you by Joshua Hood, a Modoc and Yaqui archer. It's going to be a wonderful ride. We're going to go everything from a bow and tell and meet some of the bows that he's crafted over the years. Additionally, he demonstrates 3 different pulling techniques. And last but not least, he's going to bang out a bow in just a matter of a few short minutes. I hope you stay tuned and join us for our special presentation later.